Welcome, everybody, to the Crash and Church Show. The Crash and Church Show? The Crash and Church Show. Today we're going to be talking about Halloween.
I have a little funny little anecdote just to start. My son, they stayed home today because I've got a room now where I can close the door, so I don't have to send my family away to stay quiet. And so we were sending him downstairs, and he said to my wife, I want a bottle. Only he said it kind of snotty. He was like, I want a bottle, you know. And so my wife was like, it's not time for a bottle. And I was like, let's just give him a bottle. It'll keep him quiet. And so she said, okay. So I went to get him a bottle. And then I said, but can you say it nicely? And so he said, please. Or I don't know if that was exactly the tone, but he stomped his foot and said, please. With his snotty little voice stomping his foot. So it was cute. It was funny. So
kids, they don't have the best control of their emotions.
it was really funny.
Yeah. Like some adults.
He's gotten in the habit of waking up grumpy from his nap. So he got sick last week. I think I told you that. And that my kids were both thrown up last week, and so they're better now. But he's been sleeping a lot more and waking up grumpier from his nap. So he may still have something residual going on where he's not feeling top notch and stuff. So, but yeah, kids. I mean, Halloween is for kids, so that kind of ties into the subject matter.
The best for kids. Well, it can be for adults too, but I guess it depends on the type of fun that you're having as an adult. Do you like my skeleton man?
Oh yeah, we've got a theme going on there.
Yes. This is my skeleton man.
I should have gotten some Halloween decorations for behind me, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I was too lazy.
He doesn't have batteries in him, but
he normally moves or something.
He dances and sings, and it's pretty cool. Yep. This is the fun part of Halloween that I really like.
Well, in Halloween, you're right that Halloween can definitely be for adults too. My wife and I, struggled to have children for, what did we go, 20 years?
20 years, yeah.
And then ended up having to do fertility treatments to have children, ultimately. And we still loved Halloween all through those years. It was something, we didn't do quite as many things. Obviously, we weren't going trick-or-treating or something, but just the decorations, and we loved receiving trick-or-treaters, and we many years have a Halloween party where we invite a bunch of people, as you recall.
Yep.
We haven't done it for a few years because we've had different things that have gotten in the way, but big Halloween party.
I think the last time either one of us had a Halloween party was the one that I had.
That you were here, yeah.
Yeah, when I was still out there. Yeah.
And that was fun. Did you find it fun? You didn't know a lot of the people there, but I think it was still a fun.
Well, they were all at yours.
Yeah,
yes.
at ours.
I'm talking about the one that I did, but the one at yours, I didn't. Yeah. Well, you were there. You and Bryony were there.
It's been long enough that I don't have a good recollection. I do remember that now. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We came up to your place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
the one at your house was a lot of fun.
That was like the year before that. So.
Yeah, you had I think it was a couple years, but you had a pumpkin theme, and so everybody had to bring some type of pumpkin flavored
we did.
food.
We called it a pumpkin and pizza party. The idea being that everybody brings a pizza to share and then some sort of pumpkin dessert. And we had a couple of people who thought that would translate into making pumpkin pizzas. And so we had a few pumpkin, or at least one pumpkin pizza, which was not good.
Yeah. I'd say that pumpkin is probably the last thing I'm going to put on a pizza, unless it's like a pumpkin pie pizza where.
Yeah, if the whole thing was a dessert pizza, done just right.
It's like almost like a pie crust, but it's pizza, and then do some type of a pie filling on top.
Like do the pie crust with like a graham cracker crust for the pizza crust.
Yeah, you know how you get that what is it, the cinnamon roll pizza or whatever it is from, I don't know, it's one of those takeout places. They do that. I think it's, I don't know.
Yeah, who cares?
But anyway, they do that. We don't order pizza that much.
That is one of those things that I love about the season. It's not directly related to Halloween, but I am a sucker for pumpkin things. And so I love when the season rolls around where, you can start doing pumpkin things. Pumpkin flavored things, get pumpkin pies and
but just decorating pumpkins. There's so much you can do with decorating pumpkins. The the type of decorating and carving that we did as kids was your typical pumpkin decorating. You know, you had the two triangle eyes.
That's
You had
still what I do.
yeah. but
If I do
but
it at
there's-
all, yeah, because I'm lazy
Well, it's
with
now
carving.
become artistic. Like there's so much art that you can create. They have these carving tools. You don't actually cut into the pumpkin. You just carve the outside.
Right.
And you still take the guts out through the bottom, I think, and that way you can put a candle inside. And
It might be better to
but-
not do it that way, though. Just for one of the things I was going to say is that doing that much work and then they rot so fast. And
They do, but you have to light it up in order to see the art.
Right. So if you took the guts out just for like Halloween night, if you carved it towards the beginning of October so it didn't rot, you could have it the whole month. Because if you carve pumpkins in the beginning of October, by the time Halloween rolls around, they're nasty.
Oh, they're rotten.
They don't
yeah,
last.
they got flies all over them, the fruit flies and all that. Yep.
They've turned brown and started to sink in and stuff. So yeah, that might be a cool way to do it, is carve just the ones that are the outside. Not carve, but you scrape off the outer holes so that you create a design. And then just before Halloween, cut the bottom out, pull the guts out so you can put a candle in. It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not, and of course you can paint them now. They even have decorations where you can just paint them. They have these plastic things that you push. They have little spikes that are on them, and you push them into the pumpkin, and they're different characters. Like you could do Mr. Potato Head, or you could do these cool characters
and that makes it easy because
then
then you can just do it simply and make the
with
less work,
you
which I like. I like
them.
the idea of that.
You can do airbrush art. So I mean, it's really come a long way. A lot different than when I was a kid. So, and I'm trying to find that.
I'm a sucker for the traditional.
Well, trying to find that perfect shaped pumpkin is really hard to do. And years ago, when we did that pumpkin party, if you remember the pumpkin fire that I had, so I the way I carved all of the pumpkins was like each pumpkin had a set of flames, and there were about 10 pumpkins, and they were all arranged in a circle and piled up on top of one another. And I put a candle in each one, so when they lit up, it looked like the pumpkins were on fire. So it was pretty cool. And I saw that online, and I decided to recreate it, and it was a lot of fun doing something like that.
Yeah.
But I like fun stuff like that. It's really cool.
And I've kind of gotten into, like, I don't think we ever carved pumpkins before we had children, just because it's so much work and I was just too lazy, and it was easier to just pull out all our Halloween decorations otherwise. I've gotten back into carving pumpkins with kids now. My wife just bought 2 pumpkins today so we can carve pumpkins with the kids over the next couple of days. And so, but I still, like, I'm a sucker for the traditional. So I like just doing the triangles still, and just, it's not just because it's easy. That is definitely part of it, because I'm lazy with it. But it's also, I like that traditional, I guess there's a sentiment to it as part of that stuff.
Well, we have so we have a couple of neighbors who have not decorated this year because we had such bad flooding here in the neighborhood, and a lot of people lost their decorations from Hurricane Ian, and so really nobody that I have seen, there's nothing in the neighborhoods driving around town, and it's really unfortunate.
That's made it hard.
Because the last couple of years they all decorated, and it was a lot of fun. And
right, you sent me some pictures and stuff, and it was some people really go crazy there.
Yeah,
which one of the nice things, as you noted when you have visited here, we don't get like the super crazy decorations around here like that, but what we do have is a lot of kids, and so I remember the year that you brought your son, when your son was he was probably 5 or 6.
He was about 3.
He was that young. Okay, and he dressed as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we went out, and I remember just walking around the corner, because on our street it wasn't very busy that year, and I thought, oh, this is disappointing. And then we walked around the corner, and it was like walking into a Halloween movie. It was just like kids everywhere at all the houses. And
well, you saw the video of the neighborhood here. So we're a place where we used to live, about an hour north of where we are right now. there is a neighborhood called the Sugar Mill, and that is kind of your upper class neighborhood. A lot of big homes, very expensive homes, but they close off the neighborhood every Halloween, and it was so busy that cars would be parked 2 miles down the road. Like there would be cars parked up to 2 miles down the road from the neighborhood.
Just to get in. Like
Yep,
like
exactly.
the light shows at Christmas that you have to that are drive-through light shows, and you have the
Well, they had the sheriff's department out to direct traffic to make sure everything was going well, and you went into this neighborhood, and the video that I took of it is just astounding because it just shows like just there are hundreds of people walking around in this neighborhood, and it's just so much fun. Like it's decorated so well. I don't know what they did this year. So everywhere north of Cocoa, which is where Hurricane Ian, the eye of Hurricane Ian went. Everywhere north of Cocoa is really what got the worst of it, and it was where we are and where we used to live. So I'm not sure what they're doing this year. In our neighborhood right
How
now,
bad they got it.
yeah, our neighborhood right now, I haven't seen really any decorations. The people are just, the people lost a lot
Yeah.
from the flooding, but otherwise, normally there would be a lot.
Yeah, of the tragedies, not being able to celebrate Halloween for 1 year is, well, you could still celebrate it, but not being able to decorate for Halloween 1 year is a lesser of the tragedies, of course, but still unfortunate.
Well, I found that if you are in a colder state, though, so at this time of year, you're where you are is still it's turning cool. It's chilly out at night. It's cold at night. And it's different. By this time of the year, you guys don't have to mow your lawns.
We
so
got
you can
6
put
inches, or not
decorations
6,
out.
like 4 inches of snow 2 days ago.
Oh, you're kidding! I didn't even know that.
It's
Oh,
melted
wow.
by now, but yeah, we had a
Yeah.
big snowstorm hit
Yeah.
already, which
It's
is
like
early.
in the 80s here.
Yeah,
We
it
still have
happens
our air
sometimes.
conditioner on.
So
So our grass is still growing, so we don't go load up a bunch of stuff on the lawns. But what I've noticed, though, even being here, despite that other neighborhood that we went to for Halloween, the neighborhoods here, by and large, just do not put a lot of decorations out, and it's because it's so green, and because people are still
it just
mowing
doesn't
their
feel
lawns.
like it. Yeah.
Well, if they put it out there, they're going to have to move everything in order to mow the
mow their
lawn.
lawns,
Otherwise,
yeah.
they get tall lawns. So it's kind of a pain. But it's so much fun when you can do that kind of stuff. And I guess if you have decorations in your yard where you are and it snows, then everything gets wet from
Yeah,
the
and
snow.
I hate it when it snows before Halloween, or if it snows like on Halloween. Really cold Halloweens are no fun because, of course, the kids have to put on coats to it covers up their costumes and stuff. But I don't even like it if it snows before. I like if it snows on Christmas Eve, and then it melts the day after Christmas, and that's the only snow for the year. Obviously, that's not
it'd be
good
nice.
for the drought conditions here in
Well, they
Utah.
can snow up in the mountains. You can get snow up
That's
in the
true.
the
If we got enough
mountains, and
snow in
that's
the
okay.
mountains, that'd be okay. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of snow except for Christmas Eve. I like a Christmas snowing. Yeah, anytime in December is fine.
Yeah, I can say being back there in December, if I've ever gone since we've moved out here, I just wanted to be here. I wanted
Yeah,
to be
you're
back
a
where
fan of that, and
it was
so-
warm and green, and that's what's so awesome about it.
Yeah.
You do get that, but there because of the temperature change, and because the leaves on the trees turn color, and because they're falling, you got them in the yards. You've got all the different colors that are in the neighborhoods. That really sets the tone for Halloween.
Well, my brother lives in North Carolina, and he was saying the same thing. I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying how one of the things he loves about North Carolina is how long fall is, how long the autumn lasts, and there's just months of just that, fallen leaves and cool weather and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Here in Utah, we get about a week of real good fall weather, and other than that, it's either too hot
1
or
or
too
2
cold.
weeks. Yeah.
And I love fall. It's my favorite time of year. So that's unfortunate.
Well, it's still
for
summer.
sure.
It's still summer for us. We're in the mid 80s.
Yeah, you're still hot there.
Now
for
it's not as muggy out at this time of year. It's actually pretty nice, and the nights are getting they're they're chilly. They're not cold, but
Right.
they are. We do get a chill, so it feels nice. In the morning, you go to work, and you're not, it's not like in the summertime when it's 80 degrees in the morning. And but you also have, so you were talking about Christmas time, you do get that snow, and it definitely helps the feel, especially
Yeah, the Christmas
seeing the
feel.
lights and whatnot. But here, so we went to St. Augustine last between Christmas and New Year's, and it was really interesting. So we came from an area near Salt Lake City, and Salt Lake City is really well known. Downtown Salt Lake City is really well known for the lights that are decorating,
Particularly Temple Square, yeah.
the Temple Square. The area around Temple Square has so many lights, and it gets so many visitors, and it really sets the tone. But you go to St. Augustine, and they always talk about how they got the lights up at St. Augustine, and so you go out there, and it's like one central area between buildings with grass and trees, and that's it. And the lights are most unimpressive. I'm sure
Right, it
that
just
if
doesn't quite live up.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
that if you're not around that kind of stuff every year, or have a chance to see really, really good Christmas lights, you might be impressed by it. But I was like really underwhelmed with how good it was. But anyway, so Halloween, yeah. So
Well, this is my question for you on Halloween.
yeah.
So first of all, I mean, clearly we have an obvious view on this that people will already have gathered. But just as a philosophical question, is Halloween, evil? Is Halloween based in evil? And should Christians, good Christian, faithful worshipers, even celebrate Halloween? Now, obviously, like I said, it's obvious that you and I celebrate Halloween, so obviously our
Yeah.
opinion's going to be yes, of course. But let's talk about that a little bit and why and what are your thoughts?
So to me, Halloween is just a fun holiday. There's nothing pagan about it. We weren't raised in my family.
Well, I don't know that you could say there's nothing pagan about it, but in your way of celebrating,
No,
it
no,
is
no,
what
no.
you
I'm
mean.
talking about the way I was raised.
Yeah.
The way we were raised in our family, there was nothing pagan about it. We had fun. We got to play scary music or scary sounds, the Halloween sounds on a record player, and we would put speakers by the front windows, and people would, there was really little to no decorating
Turn
back
on
then.
the Thriller album.
Yeah. Well, Michael Jackson's Thriller was huge back then, so we would definitely play that. We would watch it. It was so much fun. We would watch some scary movies that were family friendly. So, and I told you about this the other night that we were watching The Watcher in the Woods. It was a Disney movie that came out in 1981, and it was their one, and as far as I know, it's their only what would be classified as a horror film.
They just put out a new one that just came out on Disney Plus. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but
I don't have
wolf,
Disney Plus,
something
so.
about the wolf in the night or something, or I can't remember the name of it, but
Well, it was so interesting to go back and to watch it, and so it's got Betty Davis in it, and it's a really, in my opinion, a really good movie. They did it. There are parts of it where it's kind of
a little dated or
this,
whatever.
This
or
seems
slow.
yeah. It has some of that, but the acting. There were a couple spots where the
Sure.
acting was just okay. That was definitely fake, but by and large, the movie is really fun to watch. Now, you wouldn't watch it with someone like your young kids.
They're a little
It
too
would
young,
definitely scare them. But there's no swearing.
Maybe my
there's
my kids,
no
or at least my
gore.
daughter, she loves that kind of stuff. So
It's
might
really
like it.
good. Yeah, I would definitely say that it was PG back then. Again, there's no swearing.
She makes
it's
us
family friendly.
My daughter makes us watch Halloween shows year round. Like she loves The Nightmare Before Christmas. She loves The Curse of the Were Rabbit, the Wallace and Gromit.
So I like the old Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck,
Yep,
Halloween.
she likes those.
Stuff.
She likes
Yeah,
the
songs.
Ichabod Crane Disney one.
Love that one, and I love the It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Right. Yeah, she hasn't seen
Yeah,
that
that's-
one yet. I need to get a copy of it.
So
'cause
those are
she'd
the
probably
types
like
of fun things that we always did as a family growing up, and of course we were raised going to church every Sunday and
Right.
whatnot. Now, as far as the pagan part of it goes, I would say that I could definitely see that, because with today's
Well, I
with
think you need to
today's
define
view
what
of
you mean by
Halloween.
pagan.
Well, okay, so pagan's kind of an off-color way of saying it, but anything that doesn't that wouldn't really bring you together as a family, it's not wholesome. So I would say that by today's standards, the movies that come out every late September through the 1st of November are all the horror films. They're all the thrillers, the horror films, the slasher films, and they've overrun that whole genre has overrun Halloween, in my opinion. And I just don't like it. I don't like how Halloween has now become about serial killers. So
Well, I don't know if that's fully true.
well, hold
For
on.
some people it is, but
The show that just came out on Netflix, which is Dahmer, about Jeffrey Dahmer,
yeah, no
the
interest.
number one sold costume in America right now for men is the Jeffrey Dahmer costume,
Gross.
because of the show Dahmer on Netflix. And this is what I'm talking about. It's you go to the Halloween stores and you see
But is that for kids? Are they selling Jeffrey Dahmer costumes for kids?
I don't know. I think it's just for adult men that they're doing it for.
I would not think that was the number one for
regardless,
kids.
it doesn't matter if it's for a kid or if it's for an adult. So years ago, my son was wearing. He was looking at getting what he called the ghost mask, and it's the mask that
Scream.
was worn in the movie Scream. And I told his mother, nope, that is absolutely inappropriate. I don't want him to associate that with being okay, that it's
Right.
okay, because the guy was
So that's past your line.
obviously they were serial
'Cause
killers.
That's my
And so it happened anyway. So she went behind my back and
Right.
she did it anyway.
Typical.
And of course now he looks back and he goes, yeah, Dad, if I would have really known what that was, I
wouldn't have
never
done
would have
it,
done
yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's my question though. That's what it comes down to, because everybody's going to have a line. Well, some people don't have a line. A lot of people don't have a line, but everybody should have a line, I think, of what is appropriate and what isn't. And I'm not sure that it needs to be the same for everyone. I think that there's a level where everybody can draw a line that can differ a little bit, and it can be okay for one family to view certain things differently than another family. I do think that it's pretty silly what you have these people who are Christians who then draw the line that Halloween is evil, period. And we've seen that
Yeah,
a
I know
lot
some,
in not a lot relative to how many people have been that are in our faith tradition, but a lot relative to how many people I think should be doing it. And it's that you have like one in every neighborhood is what it feels like or something. And you see,
And they're very vocal. They're quite vocal
and they're
about
vocal
it.
about it too. And they're the same kind of people who like refuse to let their kids read Harry Potter or something like that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I was thinking about when you were talking about pagan is when you talk about what you mean. That's why I said, what do you mean by pagan? Because people talk about pagan, and when it's people like that, they're drawing the lines on anything that doesn't come from the Christian faith, therefore must be evil. But they're inconsistent in that viewpoint. They apply it to holidays. And despite the fact that holiday does sort of stem from the same word as holy, I mean, it kind of means holy day. It's not actually the way we treat or what we mean by most holidays. When we talk about a holiday,
interesting. Yeah, it's really quick. It's really interesting that they would say that if it's because it doesn't stem from faith or whatnot, that it's considered pagan, when the date December 25th was chosen as the day to celebrate the birth of Christ.
Well, that's
because it was the
pagan,
day of the pagan sun god.
And that's exactly kind of what I was getting at, is that there are people who make those sorts of claims about Christmas. They talk about, and a lot of times it's just people on the left who are trying to criticize Christians for their hypocrisy, but I don't think they understand the point here, because doing something that stems from the pagan tradition isn't inherently wrong or evil. It's only inherently wrong or evil if included in paganism is the idea of worship. And if you're worshiping those things, then it's a problem. Then you're worshiping something that's false, or something that you claim to be a false god. So if you're Christian and then you're worshiping the Christmas tree, but no Christian worships the Christmas tree. That's the flaw with that argument. When we bring a Christmas tree in our home, it's not to worship it. It's not related to any sort of religious thing. It's related to, as you said, family, fun, tradition, bringing family together. And I think it's problematic if people are not making Christ as part of Christmas. But to say that Christmas has to be all about Christ, I think is missing the point too, because Christmas can be fun. Stuff that isn't really deep is just family fun and enjoyable, and that can still be part of the celebration and the fun. If you still have Christ as part of your life and as part of your you live with Christ daily because you believe and you have a relationship with Christ, and Christ is part of your religion and part of who you are, then doing something fun with a Christmas tree, it's not because of Christ, it's not related to Christ. You'll even see people that will try to bring it into Christmas by talking about the Christmas tree, the boughs, and representing the bedding that the Christ child was laid in, or something like that. And it's just kind of silly to try to do that. It can be useful. I mean, I'm not saying there's no, the doing that sort of thing is wrong. It's just not necessary in all cases.
No, it's not. But I think that with Halloween, I mean, I understand the idea that it comes from, but look, as everybody knows, Halloween was invented by the candy companies. It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. That's right. Well, but see,
so
even
the Sanderson sisters are going to come, but unfortunately, well, I take that back. We do have a virgin in the household, so he would light the black.
You just outed your son, man.
I did. Yep. Well, I'm glad and proud of it.
Yeah, no kidding. So Halloween, not being a religious holiday, I mean, it stems from what was sort of a religious holiday back when it was a pagan thing. But currently, there's no question that unless you're, really off the rails, that Halloween's not a religious holiday. And so then the claim that therefore that people who are religious shouldn't be involved in it, I think fails, because we should have religion and Christ as part of our lives in everything we do, and that includes in Halloween. And for example,
I guess if you're celebrating Halloween because you get to worship the dead or something like that, right, then you're getting into the
then you may be getting in the weeds a little bit. But I'm not, and I'm not talking about when I say that worshiping Christ should be part of Halloween. That does not imply that you need to have Christ worship as like a formalized part of Halloween.
No, it just means that he's the center of your life.
Like it is with Christmas. With Christmas, Christ worship, I think, it's wholesome and good to make Christ worship and having nativity scenes and talking about the birth of Christ and those sorts of things as part of your Christmas celebration. That's not what I'm suggesting with Halloween, but I am suggesting that when you're trick-or-treating and you're teaching your kids to trick-or-treat, that if, someone is mean to them, or someone doesn't open the door, or someone doesn't have any candy left or something, that you smile and you treat them in a Christ-like manner, and you tell them it's all right, and you don't actually do tricks and stuff. You don't do the trick part of trick-or-treat. That's just a saying that you use.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does it anyway, but, there are people who do believe in doing pranks and cruel things on Halloween and go out and, egg people's houses and toilet paper people's houses and things like that.
Yeah,
you teach your children to not do that, because that's not a Christ-like way to behave. And just being Christ-like and having Christ in your life is part of everything you do. And that includes trick-or-treating. It includes carving the pumpkins. It includes those things that you are striving to be like Christ and have a relationship with Christ in all that you do and at all times. And that includes Halloween.
Well, just having that family time together and enjoying times and you're. I think I've told you this before, and that is, I'm envious of the time that you have right now
moving
with your
forward,
kids, because they are young.
Because your son's older.
My son's he's almost 16. We're still very close.
Is he still trick or treating?
No, no, not doing that anymore. But we have that magic of
He's
Halloween is
got to at
gone
least go to
because
the cute girl he likes house to trick or treat, right?
well, I don't know what they're gonna do. So he's going to a friend's house for Halloween. He's gonna spend the night this weekend, and they're gonna have a Halloween party and whatnot. But one of the things that I wanted to say a couple of things while you were talking that addresses the holidays at this time of year. Number one, I absolutely think it is completely inappropriate that the bulk of the costumes that you find for younger girls, and I'm talking about tweens, I'm talking about teenage girls,
Or
even young girls that
yeah,
are under 11, 10, and whatnot, the bulk of the costumes that are available for them sexualize them.
yeah.
And the girls are wearing
The
these
quote unquote
very
slutty version of whatever costume.
very
Yeah.
short dresses. They're very and I've seen that in the members of our church here, where I've seen these 12, 13-year-old girls wearing those costumes. And where are the parents on this? Because when I go into a Halloween store like Spirit Halloween, and I see that all of the costumes for the girls are like that, and all the costumes for the boys completely cover them from head to toe. You barely see anything.
I don't want to see the boys in the mini skirts anyway. Just
I don't
to
want
be
to see
clear.
boys in the mini skirts or the fish, but the young girls, they've got fishnet stockings, they've got these short dresses, and it's something that you would see that they always have the models on the front of the costumes, and it's something that you would see in the adult women section, and even then. Why is it that
still
that
inappropriate
is
for the
associated?
public.
Yeah, why is it that that is the standard to be looking at? I loved the movie Hocus Pocus. You and I both love that. One of my favorite parts was the scene where they went to the adult Halloween party because of the costumes that all of the adults were wearing. They were awesome. They were fun, and they were not inappropriate. I guess the mom's was, right? She
The
was
mom's
Madonna.
Madonna cups. Yeah,
She was
maybe a little
Madonna.
bit.
But I mean, but still, it was just it was fun, and I think the imagination. I think places like that, Spirit Halloween, they take the imagination
They're preying
out
on
of it.
children. Yeah.
They are preying on children, but they're also preying on the adults,
Yep.
and too often we have adults who just do it because they're kids. So, oh, that's cute, and I think it's awesome, and yeah, well, so does the creepy dude down the street, and he thinks it's cute too. So,
Yeah.
I just think that some lines should be drawn. The other thing that I wanted to say was October. Listen to me very carefully, Halloween and Walmart and other stores.
It's not time to put up.
October is for Halloween.
Thank you.
November is for Thanksgiving. You can start putting your decorations up after Thanksgiving.
I'm
After
okay with
Thanksgiving.
Christmas
Let
decorations
me say that again.
in November.
After Thanksgiving.
I have no problem with Christmas in stuff in November, but yeah, in October, I'm absolutely
because we're-
with you.
So I grew up doing Thanksgiving decorations in school. You make the little centerpiece that you're supposed to take, the little turkey paper thing that you make in fourth grade or whatever it is, and you take it
Yeah.
and you get to show your mom, and your mom's like, "Wow, that's great, son."
I accept your reasoning, and I validate you. I validate. I validate your thought.
a
but
holiday in
I disagree
November.
with
It's
it.
called Thanksgiving.
For
It
me
is
personally,
it's a holiday in the United States. Let's celebrate.
for me
Let's stop
personally,
making it
Thanksgiving
about
is
turkey.
Christmas light. It's just one big part of Christmas. So
Yeah, but you know what? When you've got the distraction of the holidays, they do it for Easter, they do it for Thanksgiving, they do it for Christmas. Halloween, they don't, because Halloween doesn't have a religious side to it. But the meaning of Thanksgiving, the meaning of Christmas, the meaning of Easter, they have very specific history and meanings behind them, and we have completely taken away from those. In Thanksgiving, it's turkey, football, and Black Friday. At Christmas time, it is almost
Gifts,
nothing
yeah.
but Santa.
gifts or food,
there's-
yeah.
Exactly. And then now it's the holidays. It's no longer Christmas. And then you have
And even the 4th of July is just about
Easter.
the fireworks.
It's just about the fireworks and the hot dogs and the barbecues, right?
Yeah.
Which
is all that's fine. It just can't. It shouldn't be only about those things.
But that's what it's become, and it's become so commercialized. Easter is no longer what it really means, and what the name Easter means. But then you now have it's all about the Easter bunny and candy and chocolate. And
in my family's traditions and thinking, Easter is the least egregious in that regard. I think Easter for us is primarily a religious holiday, just because. Other than Easter baskets on Easter morning,
because the term Easter,
there's not much else that we do for Easter. You know, it's not like Christmas or Halloween where you're decorating and things like
I know
that.
people that go pretty freaking hog wild with Easter.
Some people do, yeah. We just don't. We just don't. So, but
they give gifts to each other. They're crazy.
Well, we're gonna end a little bit sooner today, just because first of all, the topic is. We don't have a lot more to say on it. I mean, we could babble on for another, 45 minutes, but
I could babble on for it. Yeah. But Halloween, make it fun, make it family friendly.
Yeah. And I think it can absolutely, like I said before, Christ can be part of anything that you do at any time. And so I think Halloween's a wholesome, good holiday when you focus on it in the right ways.
I do want to end with one last thing about Halloween.
Okay.
And that is I absolutely miss what I consider the best haunted house in the United States, and it was in Salt Lake City. It was the Rocky Point haunted house, and it won award year after year when it was open, and it's now closed. But
because I'm not a fan of haunted houses, so
well, the quality, the caliber of the production was phenomenal. The owner, she went on to do a lot of Hollywood productions and sets all over the world. And it was the A standard for haunted houses, and it was just really phenomenal.
That's cool.
Phenomenally
I have a close
done.
friend in this area, by the way, who just they're opening up what they're hoping to turn into a full-on amusement park eventually, but they just opened it. It's called Ghostly Hollow, is what they're calling it right now, up by Traverse Mountain, and. It's supposed to be pretty cool up there. So if you're local and you're listening, check it out. Ghostly Hollow.
Now, is that a seasonal thing? Is that a seasonal thing?
It's not going to be seasonal, but that will be the seasonal part of it. I think the park itself is going to be more than that. But I can't remember what the actual park is going to be called. But Ghostly Hollow is what the Halloween thing of it is called. So
my son did cool. the Halloween stuff. He went to Universal a couple of weeks ago in Orlando, and he did some pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah,
it's all decorated for Halloween.
And some of that's fun. We went to Corn Bellies the other week, which was fun. A little too crowded, but yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining us today, and feel free to subscribe. Please like or share, comment, and happy Halloween. And we'll see you next week. We'll come to you. We're going to give you our thoughts on the upcoming election. So
be safe. Don't eat razor blades in your candy bar.
Yeah, that was a myth. Later.